Welcome to the February 16, 2020 Frankfort Village Board meeting. We call this meeting to order, and we ask our village administrator, Rob Pisha, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Howe.
Here.
Trustee Borelli is absent. Trustee Flavio.
Here.
Trustee Farina.
Here.
Trustee Petro.
Here.
Trustee Ogle.
Here.
Trustee Savaria.
Here.
Chief Barica.
Present.
Attorney Moore. Village administrator is here. And Trustee Borelli.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I do want to apologize this evening that what I'm told is our switcher is not working properly. It's probably too cold and too much snow for it. But the switcher is the device that takes the signal from these cameras around the boardroom and puts them out on the public television on Channel 6 and also records the meeting. So we're recording the meeting and it will appear, but not this evening. It'll start appearing probably tomorrow. So, with that, we go to the next item on our agenda, which is called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the unanimous consent agenda are considered routine in nature and will be voted on after a single motion. If one of the trustees wants to discuss any of those items in more detail, we'll just remove the item from the consent agenda. So I first ask, do any trustees want to remove any items from the consent agenda? Not hearing anything, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Ogle and a second by Trustee Savaria. We do want the people in our audience to know something about the items that we're passing, and certainly the audience both here in the boardroom, which is very large this evening, and the audience at home on the video when this does become public. So we'll go over each one of the items just briefly. The first item is the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on February 1st. The second item is the approval of the bills, and we'll go to Trustee Savaria for a report on those.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bills tonight equals $747,811.70. A couple of line items to point out. We had an expenditure of $136,389.28 to Curry Motors for 3 new police squads, and another expenditure of $85,855 to Phillips Chevrolet for the purchase of 2 new Silverados. I did want to give an update on the election objection. We did get the final bill from Mahoney and Silverman, which was $13,568.75. And if you add that to the previous bill of $4,078.15, the grand total was $17,646.90. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Gene. And then we have several items from our Operations Committee, and we'll go to the Chair of the Operations Committee, Trustee Borelli, for a report on those.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have several items, as you noted, that we discussed at our Operations Committee on February 10th. The first one was the 21-22 lawn maintenance program. We reviewed 4 proposals received for the 21-22 lawn maintenance program. Those lawn maintenance and landscaping submitted the low bid in the amount of $115,525 annually to provide lawn mowing, bush trimming, and landscape bed maintenance services for the 2021 and 2022 lawn mowing seasons. It was a consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation. The motion before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Operations Committee and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a 2-year contract with Bill's Lawn Maintenance and Landscaping Incorporated for the 2021-2022 lawn maintenance program in the amount of $115,525 per year. Excuse me for a second, a little out of breath. The next item was the streetlight repair contract. We reviewed 4 bids submitted for a 2-year contract for streetlight repairs. The Village of Frankfort owns and maintains 1,455 streetlights within the village limits. Public Works performs basic repairs of these village-owned streetlights and hires an outside contractor for more involved repairs such as changing ballast, performing underground repairs, and working on high voltage streetlights. Excel Electric submitted the low bid of $118 per hour for regular time and $165 per hour for after-hour repairs. That was substantially lower than the other bids we received, FYI. The committee forwarded a recommendation. The motion before us tonight is to accept the recommendation of the Operations Committee and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a 2-year contract with Excel Electric Incorporated for the repair of village-owned streetlights in the amount of $118 per hour for regular time and $165 per hour for after-hours repairs. The next item was the dump truck replacement purchase. We reviewed a request from Public Works to purchase a 2022 International HV 507 dump truck with snow removal equipment to replace a 2007 International dump truck. The cost of the fully equipped vehicle is $171,064.97. The committee forwarded a recommendation. The motion before us tonight is to adopt a resolution authorizing the expenditure to Rush Truck Center for the purchase of a 2022 International HV 507 truck chassis with dump body and snow removal equipment in an amount not to exceed $171,064.97. There's a long lead time with that. That's why we approved it now, even though it'll hit next year's budget, 9-month lead time. Next item was a water main replacement program. The committee reviewed 6 bids to perform additional water main replacement work as part of the village's 2021 water main replacement program. The village previously approved 7 separate locations, construction of which is nearing completion, and as a result of very competitive unit pricing. Unallocated water main replacement funds remain in the 2021 budget. Resultantly, staff sought bids to replace additional sections of water main in areas subject to frequent repairs and service disruptions, including Bankview Drive, Walnut Ridge Court, North Butternut Circle, Hickory Ridge Court, Locust Street, and Wisconsin Road. Austin Tyler submitted the low bid in the amount of $1,284,093.26. The committee forwarded a recommendation, and that is the motion before us tonight is to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Austin Tyler Construction for the village's 2020 water main replacement program in an amount not to exceed $1,284,093.26 to replace water main on Bankview Drive, Walnut Ridge Court, North Butternut Circle, Hickory Ridge Court, Locust Street, and Wisconsin Street, and the resurfacing of the streets as part of the project. The next item is the sanitary sewer and manhole rehab program. We reviewed four bid proposals for the program. The low bid was Duke's Root Control Incorporated in the amount of $149,777. The project includes manhole sealing, coating, grouting, cover replacement, and frame resets to address defects that have potential to allow infiltration and inflow into the system during wet weather events. The committee forwarded a recommendation, and the motion before us tonight is to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Duke's Root Control Incorporated for the 2021 sanitary sewer and manhole rehabilitation program in the amount of $149,777.00. And the final item we discussed is the construction of well number 17. We discussed the 2 bids received for the construction of a new well. The Utilities Department operates well number 7, an iron filtration plant and water tower at 601 Prestwick Drive. In the Prestwick subdivision, the casing for well number 7 is failing, and in order to prevent further damage or failure, the well has been operated at reduced capacity for several years. The village entered into a project services agreement with Farnsworth Group Incorporated for the engineering services to construct well number 17, which will replace existing well number 7. The Farnsworth Group reviewed the 2 bids received and have determined that Lane Christensen Company is the low responsive bidder in the amount of $670,905.00. The committee forwarded a recommendation, and the motion before us tonight is to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Lane Christensen Company for the construction of well number 17 in the amount of $670,905.00. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Adam. And then we have one item from the Plan Commission, and we'll go to Trustee Clavio for that item.
Thank you, Mayor Hall. I just want to thank Adam for showing up, because I don't know that anybody else could have done all 6 of those as well as you did that. Mr. Mayor, we've got one item before us. It's the Salkowski driveway setback variance for property located at 254 Willow Street. The applicants, Robert and Deborah Zakowski, request the granting of a driveway setback variance to permit a 3-foot 7-inch setback to the north side property line for the property located at 254 Willow Street to accommodate the construction of a new paved driveway. At the February 11th, 2021 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission did forward a unanimous 5-0 recommendation to the village board to grant the variance request. So what's before us tonight is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a driveway setback variance from the 5-foot requirement to 3 feet 7 inches for the property located at 254 Willow Street to permit the construction of a paved driveway in accordance with reviewed plans and public testimony. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John, and that is all of the items that were on our unanimous consent agenda for this evening. Before we discuss them and vote on them, is there anyone in the audience or, oh, we don't have anybody on the TV, so anybody in the audience here in the boardroom who wanted to comment to the village board about any of these particular items? Hearing none, how about the trustees? Any questions or comments? Then we'll go for the vote. We'll go to our village administrator, Rob Hisha.
Trustee Clavio.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Savaria.
Yes.
Trustee Farina.
Yes.
Trustee Ogle.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli. Yes. Motion carries.
The next item on our agenda is what we call the mayor's report. And it was in November of 2018 that the people of Frankfort agreed to increase the taxes here on sales. It's the sales tax from 7% to 8%. This board told the people, if you do that, if you'll agree to this, the main place that we're going to spend the money is on our police department, and we're going to add to the police department. It is with great pleasure that we will have a ceremonial swearing in of 2 of our new officers, Officer Kamerer and Officer O'Keefe, this evening. So, if the 2 of you could join me at the podium, and please bring your families too. Let's see, how are we going to get this all in the camera? Why don't the families come back here? Yeah, this is going to work. Okay, this is working. We got to get it on this camera. That's what counts. And then we'll get Kevin here and Jessica over here. Now it looks like they've got 2 different groups here, and they can get the back of me. That I don't count. But it's very exciting to have you here. And this community, we told them we would go from 28 officers to 33 officers, and actually we're heading towards, I think we're at 35 now. But this is because the community wants you here. This community believes in our police department. We have a whole contingent of your peers in the room, of other police officers that perhaps, Kevin, you can get a picture of the other police officers who are here, and they support you. But very importantly, we need your families to support you. Police officer work is something that takes the whole family. It takes a community. It takes all of our support. You're not in an easy job, we know that. But here in Frankfort, it can be a great job. It's a wonderful community. You deal with some of the more difficult issues that we have in our community, but we very much welcome you, and we're excited to have you. Now, I got a couple of words here to say. And Officer Kamerer, you're a graduate of Lincoln Way West High School, so that's wonderful, a local person. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in criminology with a minor in chemistry and forensic science from the University of Wisconsin at Whitewater. And she also played softball there. Officer Kamerer decided on a career in law enforcement to help others. Perfect. That's just what we're looking for. And we need a ringer on any kind of a softball team that comes up in the future. And Officer O'Keefe graduated from Mount Carmel High School. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science with a concentration in civic leadership and a minor in criminology from the University of Illinois. Officer O'Keefe aspires to continue training and advancing his career with the Frankfort Police Department. Great idea, just what we need. So we'll get on with the swearing in. If you would both raise your right hands and repeat after me. Now you have to say I, and then you say your name. Oh, perfectly. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer for the Village of Frankfort to the best of my ability. Congratulations, you're in. Officer O'Keefe, Kamer, would you like to say a few words?
I think you said it best.
Perfect. Well, we welcome you. We're excited to have you. We know we have more in training right behind you. Each of you has completed the probationary period, which is, John, 6 weeks? 6 months?
It's 12 months after the completion of FTO.
12 months.
Yes, the probationary period is 12 months after the release of FTO. So they went through the academy, then FTO, and then they do the probationary period.
Perfect. So the academy is how many weeks?
14,
And then field training?
12 to 14 weeks.
Perfect. So it takes a lot of time, and it's a lot of effort. Congratulations, you've both done well, and we look forward to you serving our community. Thank you. And thanks to all of you for being here. Any comments from the trustees?
Sure. I'd like to welcome our new officers, and we appreciate your service for our community and our residents and our businesses. I've been able to get to know your colleagues and your chief, and they're a phenomenal group of people dedicated to our community, and you can learn so much from them, and I look forward to getting to know you better. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we welcome you, and I know it's been a long process, and also that we have a strong commitment to our police force here, and we expect professionalism and accountability, and we also make sure that we provide the resources that you need in order so that you can do your job properly. And again, welcome to Frankfort, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Very well. That concludes the mayor's report. The next item on our agenda is the police department report, and we'll go to our police chief, John Perica, for that report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You summed up very well. We're excited to have Officer Kammerer and Officer O'Keefe. As you said, we get to know them a little bit better. We don't swear them in until after they're through their probationary period. So we get to know them as people and as officers, and they are great in both respects to that. They're going to be great additions to the officers that we have and hold that high standard that we expect out of them. So we look forward to them, and like you said, there's many coming behind them at a perfect time. So we'll keep doing it, and it's a testament to our Sergeant Giacomo and our investigators who do great backgrounds on these guys. It takes a lot to get hired as a police officer, especially here, and they passed all of those things. So we're very proud of them. I'd also like to remind people about the 2-inch snowfall parking we did last week, but obviously we've had a little bit of snow, a little more than 2 inches in the last few weeks, and they're still calling for a little bit more this week. But if the people can get those cars off the road, makes it safer for the plows, allows them to get around a little bit quicker and get the roads back opened. I would have to say, from my own standpoint, our guys did a great job of clearing the streets. I'm not so sure about our state routes. They're still in a little bit of trouble, but our streets are looking much better. And then, of course, finally, I want to remind people to lock their car doors, take your keys and key fobs inside, put down your garage doors, help us to help you keep Frankfort safe. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, John. And now for the village administrator's report, we go to Village Administrator Rob Pisha.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Certainly also want to congratulate the new officers. Haven't been through it. I understand how exciting it is to get off of probation and know that you've got a long career ahead of you. So congratulations to them, and we look forward to having them here a long time. Also want to give a shout out to Public Works. Again, we had a tremendous snowfall over the last 24 hours. They did a great job of clearing the streets and staying on top of it, even though it was coming down really heavy. So I want to thank them for their efforts, and everybody in the police department with the assist with clearing vehicles, and everything we do is a joint effort to keep things going. But I especially want to give a shout out to the people behind the scenes that don't usually get heard from, but usually the ones that are in the front line, and that is our clerical people that take the phone calls, answer the questions that come up during these kind of things. So I want to give a shout out to Teresa, Heather, Sue, Marina, also Jody, Renee, Jill, Paula, Sandy, Carrie, and Lynn. Again, they just do a great job behind the scenes, and like I said, they're usually the ones on the front lines that get the phone calls and usually get to deal with the people when they're angry and that kind of thing. And with that, also want to remind people to please, if you can help it, don't shovel the snow back into the street after the plows have come by. It really, all it does is create a slick spot right in front of your driveway. It doesn't really help the situation, and once the snow plows have basically cleared the street, we usually don't come back and clear that kind of thing. So like I said, it just creates a slick situation, and it is against village ordinance. One of the other issues that I'm sure everybody's hearing a lot of is where the snow is being piled up. Unfortunately, we have a lot of snowpack. We haven't had any melting. There really isn't any place to put the snow. So I apologize for the problem that a lot of it is at corners. But obviously, our job is to clear the streets and keep them clean, and unfortunately, we have to put the snow somewhere. So we just ask for your patience. Want to give a shout out to Trustee Farina, Trustee Petro, who came up with the idea of clear the fire hydrants. We got a lot of positive feedback on that, and people are contacting us, so it's working well, and it's a great community service thing. So thank you for that, and it's also doing a great service for the village of clearing those fire hydrants and keeping them safe. And that is the end of my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Rob. And now for the village attorney's report, we go to Village Attorney Hannah Lamore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to Officer Keith and Officer Kramer. I've had an opportunity to serve the trials with both of them, and I look forward to working with them well in the future. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hannah. And that brings us to the part of our meeting we call Other Business. And this evening, we'll start with Trustee Clavio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations and welcome to our two new officers. It is quite a privilege to be here for the swearing in, and also to see the support of the entire police force that was available to be here tonight with us. So we just really look forward to having additional police on board, and like we said, additional ones coming behind them in training to really get to that goal of increasing our number of police officers. I also just want to commend our public works, our police, for clearing our streets. It's certainly been difficult. I mean, the snow, it just will not let up, and it certainly hasn't melted. I just don't know where else we're going to keep putting it this week. So we appreciate some of those sleepless hours and some work, like you said, on the driving the plows and as well as taking the phone calls. I hope that Heather has had some pleasant conversations with community service hours. I know that seems to be a big hit, and I've seen several pictures, and from my understanding, it's a little bit harder work than people were anticipating. So I think they are earning their community service hours. And just, again, a shout out to staff for being able to be flexible with that and utilizing our new Facebook page to get the word out on how to earn community service hours. So thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Trustee Severia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also would like to congratulate our two new officers, and I just want to tell everybody, 32 days to spring.
Thank you, Jean. Trustee Farina.
Well, it's very nice, first of all, to be in the room together with everyone. And it's a great night with our officers being sworn in. I did want to share some feedback. I've received positive feedback from residents regarding our utilities department, which there were some water main breaks this week. And on one of the coldest days, we had our crews down fixing those, and that's tough work. I received feedback, very positive feedback regarding our streets being plowed for residents. And then I also received feedback from a resident regarding our new officers. They were out and I was able to meet them and a veteran. So it was just really nice, and I wanted to share that so staff knows that the residents do see what we're doing and serving the community in really tough times. So thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. And,
It's me.
Keith, you're next.
Thank you, Jim. So again, congratulations to our new officers. Welcome very much. This is our first back live meeting, and this was a meeting that was just made for Zoom. This really was, with all the snow. Our Public Works and our people inside and outside did a tremendous job again, considering how much snow fell and how quickly it all came down. Trustees Petro and Farina, great idea coming up with how to incorporate work that needs to be done with clearing the hydrants and getting some community service involved in that. I think that's been popular. I clear my own, and I've been an advocate of doing that for a long time and push that out there. So if you come by my house, you get a freebie, you can claim that one, even though I clear it for you. Something else to be cognitive of this time, too. If you have a high-efficiency furnace, those vent directly outside of your house, and it may be low, where the other ones, the older ones, vent up through the roof. These will vent, and they're low. So if you get a drift, those can pack in there, and if they're not properly vented, they can cause all kinds of problems, could start fires. And in Orland Park, very recently, last week, they actually had an article about there was a fire at the house, the fire hydrant was not cleared, and the fire department had to dig it out, and it was all that buried slush and snow and everything from the road. So it's important that we do take those things into account. Fires happen in the winter, and we want to make sure that we keep everybody safe here, public safety. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. These meetings where we get to swear in police officers are always my favorite. It's just a lot of fun, and seeing the support, it's incredible. So welcome to Officer Kammerer and Officer O'Keefe. Their backgrounds are very incredible. So I got to connect Officer Kammerer with my daughter Bella and talk so they can talk softball. That's for sure. But very impressive academic backgrounds as well. So welcome. And of course, another shout out to Public Works. It's just and the utility department and everyone else that takes turns plowing. I appreciate everything that they do. It was amazing how well the streets were plowed this morning. I couldn't believe it. And this snow is not easy to plow. You already have the big embankments. It's light and fluffy. It doesn't really stick. It's hard to plow. So appreciate what they're doing, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Adam. And are there any public comments this evening for the village board? Well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Ogle and a second by Trustee Farina to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.